This is for mathematical methods. It's Heffernan 2020, exam 1, question number 3. Now I've noticed in reading time that I've got to solve this, where this is f of x, so I've got to solve 2 times the sine of x minus 1 equals 0, and I have a restricted domain. But I've also noticed that in reading time, that when I'm graphing this is my graph, so that my answer equaling 0, this is going to give me the x-intercept for when I graph this graph down here later in the question. So don't just ever think that why did they ask me to do this? There's a reason for it. Okay, 2 sine of x will equal 1, so the sine of x will equal a half. So all stations to Coolaroo, sine is positive in the first and the second quadrant. However, my domain goes from minus pi all the way around to pi on 2. So there's only one answer, and it's in the first quadrant. And my table tells me for a half, the answer is pi on 6. So that's my answer to part A. So now I need to draw the graph. I've been given f of x. So if I've got 2 times f of x minus 1, I'm dilating by a factor of 2 from the x, therefore I'm stretching, and I'm moving down 1. So let's just take my common points. This point here, if it's dilated, stays nowhere, so that moves to here, which is minus pi minus 1. This point here, which is negative 1 away from the x-axis, when it's dilated, goes to negative 2, then move down 1. That goes down to there. This point here, when it's dilated, goes nowhere, then it gets moved down 1. I know it goes through at pi on 6, and this point here gets dilated by a factor of 2, goes up to 2, then gets moved down and stays where it is. So now I can draw my curve of y, and I've labelled my endpoint. Pi on 6 is the x-intercept, negative 1 is the y-intercept.